Why do you believe there is so much change around in pharma?
Actually, in almost all countries, especially in the Western world, there's enormous change currently ongoing, because especially the demographic changes, which are partially owed to the successes of pharma, creates new and more demand. In addition to that, profit of the pharmaceutical industry still is very high, seen by all those who have to pay for pharma bills. So the scissors is opening between cost and demand of pharma owed to demographic changes, and especially as well with new diseases and other diseases nowadays treatable with pharmaceutical products. The change itself will continue, and it will cause a lot of more pressure on pharma in the near future.
Which, from your experience, is the reason why necessary adaptations in pharma appear to be so difficult for the companies?
In contrast to the innovative products pharmaceutical companies still produce, invent and market, the innovativeness in the pharmaceutical companies is hardly developed. One of the reasons that this innovativeness is hardly developed is that usually if you are working in a pharmaceutical company, the maximum you do is you move from any pharmaceutical company to another company, but it still stays pharmaceutical. So there is no interrelation between other industries and the pharma industries. This leads, together with the vast and lasting successes of the past, to very broad and steady and comfortable comfort zones with a really high comfort for each and every individual in a pharmaceutical company. And besides that, which again keeps and makes people very reluctant to change, and besides that, the vast majority of pharmaceutical companies is scattered in the field forces. And field forces in the last decades have been very, very successful. Pharma every year congratulates their individual reps for their success of the last year. And out of this, there is no reason why to change their daily habits and to adopt and adapt to the changes that the market imposes on them.
You have just mentioned the sales force, but the current sales model has very old roots. So which direction do you see in the nearest future?
Following this route that pharma is rather only following the changes imposed on them from the outside, I would see that pharma will be forced to change in the very close future, and the major thing is they will have to better respect the requirements, the needs and the necessities for healthcare providers and especially the patients. The simple selling drugs, which they did in the last 30 or 40 years, this will end. So the sales model is really under scrutiny. We can see that from many, many companies who have reduced and are still reducing their sales forces considerably in many countries without doing any harm to their top line. So success and revenue continues to grow with less people in the field, which is an interesting indicator on the fact that the sales model is moribund, if not already dead. Besides that, there will other things become more and more important and replace the old sales model, like pricing and market access. In addition to that, the so-called account management or even key account management will create a completely new business model, because it will all end the simple pushing of drugs or dealing with drugs, and pharma will in the very near future, and some companies already are starting, get involved, actively involved in healthcare, and deliver their part and their contribution to the improvement of patient care across the countries and organizations.